Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video talking about this awesome DLC that we have coming up on the 10th of December. We're just going to look at the pictures that were released on the Steam page, and we're also going to look at some stills from the trailer and just analyze what we're seeing, talk about it in the comments down below, you know, get a little bit of a discussion going because we have a couple of weeks to kill until we actually get access to this DLC. So I just wanna keep talking about it and learn as much as possible, and I'm sure you do as well. I know Best in Slot always does these kinds of videos, and I know he does them better than I can, but I'm just gonna do this because I can't stop talking about this, and I have to share this with someone, and you are the unlucky folk with whom I am sharing all of this. So we have the first what am I gonna call it? The first image on screen right now, which is of course the exterior shot of the aviary. Very exciting. Oh, that's a big brush. Let's make that a little bit smaller. So of course we have the aviary, which looks very interesting. It's very, I mean, it's not as big as the aviary in Jurassic Park 3, of course, but it is a big building for the game. It looks about the size of a hotel, maybe even a little bit bigger. I don't have any problems with that. I think maybe it could have been scaled up even more. But it looks very good, very detailed. We've already seen shots that we can actually get into the aviary as well. I hope, you know, camera mode can just go in there and not that there's some kind of fixed camera angle like the viewing gallery. Maybe that's the case, but I hope we can get in there with camera mode as well, and that there's some interesting stuff happening in there and not just an automatic animation that basically just triggers every time you go in there. So we have the aviary that we're looking at. It looks really cool. I don't quite remember what the aviary from JP3 looks like, so I don't know if in terms of design these columns are in line with the design from the movie. But for the game, it looks really cool. It looks the right style. What I also just want to briefly touch on is that what we see over here, this path, and of course I am very interested in path. Those of you who know me know that about me. It looks a little bit different from the standard gray path that we have in the game, because we have what looks like a beige or light gray curb around the path, which is not part of the gray path we have in the game right now. So new path type. That's very interesting to me. Can never have enough of those. I mean, kind of disappointing that it's just another gray path, but we're on the right track. More importantly, what we have over here, we can barely see it, but it's definitely there. Let's zoom in a little bit. That is absolutely the Ford Explorer from the tour from the original movie. So it's very nice seeing that confirmed in these images. That was one of the things I mentioned during my initial reaction to the trailer, was that I was kind of disappointed that it looked like the what's the word I'm looking for? That the new attraction, the new tour, was using Jeeps as opposed to the Ford Explorers, but we can see now that the Ford Explorers are also in the game. Now, of course, we also have the beautiful visitor center over here, which we will be able to place ourselves, hopefully. I'm trying to determine what this is over here. Looks pretty interesting. It doesn't resemble anything I think we've seen yet, so maybe it's another new building, or maybe I'm just being stupid, and you can yell at me in the comments and tell me what I'm looking at over here. But it's definitely some kind of structure. And I think that's everything we want to discuss, or I want to discuss, about this image right here. We're just gonna delve into the interior shot of the aviary. Give me a second. This is the awesome interior shot of the aviary. We have, of course, a beautiful looking Pteranodon over here, which does resemble the Pteranodon. Actually, it looks exactly like the Pteranodon from the movie, so that's really cool. also what we obviously have are the walkways going all the way over there and down here, which also look exactly like the walkways from the movie, where, you know, the piece broke off, fell into the water, all that jazz. I'm interested. It looks like it doesn't connect anywhere here, so is this only for staff? Is this for guests? That'll be really interesting to see. Like I said before, I'm wondering if this is a fixed point of view, like we can access this the same way we access the viewing gallery, the viewing platform, and the hotel, and we can just move the camera around a little bit, or can we go into this with capture mode and really have a look around? I'm also interested in what this is over here, because this looks like a viewing gallery to me, because we have these glass panels over here, and yeah, it looks like our guests could walk in there, and I think that also corresponds with where the guests enter. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so the guests enter over here, and this is the part we're seeing on the interior, so I think this is all accessible to guests, and that would be very interesting. Because then it's another, that means this is the viewing attraction, and what we're seeing, you know, might be new, might be for us to explore, so we can actually go into it. I don't know how the pteranodons are going to work, if it's just this one standard pteranodon forever flying around and round and round. I don't know how that works, or if it's an animal that we breed and have to put into the aviary. I doubt that very much, because I don't think how that would work, but, you know, that'd be really cool. We have, also really interesting is that there's a light fog hanging in this sort of man-made cliffy situation. And overall, it just looks very, very good. I'm so proud of Frontier. You are doing so good. And the next image is what appears to be a new hatchery. I mean, it definitely is. Let's be honest. The structure is very similar to the hatchery we already have, with this patch of green enclosed by concrete and the building behind there. But of course it looks very different. It looks more utilitarian than the one we currently have. It looks more in line with the original Jurassic Park aesthetic. So that's very excellent, very well done. I like this this walkway along the top, which actually does sort of remind me of the walkway from the Raptor paddock in Jurassic World. But we also have these angled fences at the top, which of course are classic Raptor paddock from the first Jurassic Park. The gate is very different from here. It looks maybe camo or some kind of pattern. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, or maybe it's supposed to be like the fossil pattern that's also on the door from the visitor center. So I don't know yet. We also have a different gate, and we have the classic lights on top of, sorry, not gate, the fence, and classic light on top of the fence, which we see flashing on and off as Tim Lex and Alan Grant are trying to climb it. So definitely getting a new fence, very cool. What's also noteworthy is that the fence has like this little chain link fence at the bottom, which I think is probably for the smaller dinosaurs, the Compsognathus. Whoa. I'm guessing that means that the Compsognathus... Jesus, I can't pronounce that. Let's just say compies. The compies are going to be even smaller than Homalocephali, which of course they should be, but we were kind of debating whether they could go smaller, but I think with this type of fencing they definitely can. So that's a nice touch. They thought about this, because obviously it's kind of weird that the Homalocephali and even the Troodon or even the Dracorex, that they can't sneak out of the fences that we currently have in the game. So this is a very nice solution. It's a nice touch. Again, well done, Frontier. You are doing awesome. Next up, this beautiful shot of the helipad, our new way for guests to arrive in our parks. I had my doubts when I did my reaction to the trailer that this would actually be the way that guests come into our parks, because we have that shot of a helicopter flying towards Matanceros for the original campaign. So I had my doubts, but this definitely confirms that guests will be arriving via helicopter, because we can see there's a very visitor-esque welcome sign over here. It's very nicely decorated. It's well done. You can clearly see that when the guests get off the helicopter, they're supposed to walk over here and then go all the way around to the exit over here. We can see the path just coming out of there. It's a nice building, fits with the visitor center very well, and I just love that we're finally getting a different aesthetic, a different building style in the game. I think we're all pretty sick of the buildings that we currently have. We've been looking at the same buildings for a very long time. So it's a breath of fresh air to see these thatch roofs, and a more true to form Costa Rican style building. And it's just really nice. We also have nice decorations along the sides. I'm still holding out hope that maybe one day stuff like this and like this will be individually placeable in our parks, but I don't think that's going to be the case quite yet. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I mean, when we look at the original Jurassic Park movie, there also weren't that many decorations in the park. It was quite bare bones, so I don't think this is the right DLC, or the logical DLC to add that. I don't think we should expect that, but I'm still hopeful for the future that we will get decorations. But for now, the new buildings are amazing. Really, really great. In this shot, we have two beautiful Parasaurolophus with a new skin. I'm guessing this is the Jurassic Park 3 Parasaurolophus skin. I'm not sure, but that's what I've seen on Reddit. I'm horrible with recognizing which skin comes from which movie, aside from the T-Rex and the Velociraptors. But, you know, if you guys say this is the JP3 skin, then I'm gonna accept that. And I will happily accept that, because if we're getting a JP3 Parasaurolophus skin, that opens up a very exciting door to getting a JP3 Velociraptor skin. And those are the prime skins that I want to have in the game. Especially the female raptor, which is white with very subtle black patterning. But of course the male raptor, also a great design. I'm not sure if we're going to get the quills along with that, but even just the skin pattern will be fantastic to have in the game. It's my those two are my most wanted skins for the game. But also the possibility that the tiger striped skins from The Lost World will be added. You know, this image is just full of promise. It's not really so much about the Parasaurolophus, because I'm not really sure if I like the skin for the Parasaurolophus. I mean, the shade of pink or reddish hue on the head looks a little bit infected to me. Oh, I just hit my microphone like he deserved it. Maybe he did. But yeah, it looks a little bit, it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. It looks a little bit like just an infected eye area situation. The basis of the skin is very similar to what we have, with the stripe down the back and this stripy effect on the thigh, the thick thigh. Yeah, so in and of itself, I don't find this particularly exciting, but I do think that the promise that this image gives us, the possibility that it opens up, that is really getting my my excitement really amped up. This is the next image that doesn't really excite me so much, but I know it's very, very much a demand that's been expressed on Reddit and throughout the community, which is destructible vehicles, having the dinosaurs be able to actively attack the jeeps. I mean, we already have instances where they kind of bump into it, especially the carnivores. They have a habit of brushing by it and just more or less walking all over it, and it bounces around. But this implies that they are going to be actively attacking the jeeps and having an actual impact on them, as in doing some damage. That's something other people have really wanted. I'm not really sure if it's something I want, because I think that's going to make filling up the feeders really annoying. Maybe I'm gonna like it. I don't know. Maybe I will. What we can see here is that this is actually... We have the standard hatchery that we all know. We also have the monorail back here. So I'm not sure how this fits in. So I'm guessing this is an update, a game-wide update that they can now attack the vehicles? Question mark? I'm not sure. But this definitely isn't particularly returned to Jurassic Park, because we have the Jurassic World buildings here. And of course, you know, staring me straight in the face, the Monorail Station itself. Now, this is one that really makes me happy, because it looks so good. Maybe it's just nighttime. I love lighting and stuff like that. And it's a perfect model. I can see Robert Muldoon and Dr. Grant, Dr. Sadler, Dr. Malcolm. I can just see them walking along here and looking at the raptors and being completely grossed out. Also, really nice detail is that the fence is actually already destroyed exactly in the same way as we saw in the movies, with the wiring all warped. That's really promising, because it's suggesting that the animals can be contained in here, but can also break out, and maybe there will be a new animation to go with it, because obviously this isn't the standard, you know, slamming their head into the fence until it breaks kind of situation. This looks very different. So I'm excited to see what kind of animations go with it to get this kind of result. I'm also curious as to what the function of this building actually is, because we actually already saw that we have a different building as a hatchery, and that leaves me to wonder what purpose this building serves. It can't be a hatchery, I'm guessing, or maybe it's a raptor specific hatchery, but that would be kind of oddly specific, so I'm not really sure yet. Another thing that someone else noticed, and yeah, good spot, even though it's pretty obvious, but I didn't notice this, is that there's no path coming up to this building. So is this the first building that is going to function without having path access? And again, that plays into what does this building do if it doesn't need a path? Yeah, a lot of question marks here, a lot of curiosity from my part. Do you have any ideas of what this is? Have you read anything that I've missed, or do you have any speculations? I really love to know, what is this building supposed to be, and why do you think there's not a path going to it, and so on and so forth. But yeah, that broken fence right there is really hitting the spot for me. And I'm also curious, we're not seeing it here, but maybe it's hidden, you know, behind the building. Is there a cow feeder to go with this? Because of course that was the iconic scene that grossed everyone present out. The cow being fed to the raptor, and to the raptors, sorry, and being torn apart. Yeah, that's kind of gruesome, but something I kind of want to have in the game. I mean, I don't need it to get all gory, but just to have that, you know, that moment of the crane lifting the cow in, and just seeing the bushes move. That'd be really cool. Next up, another shot of the raptors, 3 of them together in maybe a paddock, or maybe they are in the wild. These are the 3 raptors, so I'm guessing our girl up front is the big one, looking very menacing. The skin looks amazing, so much detail, and actually the raptor skins that we currently have in the game, there's also quite a bit of detail in those skins, but when you zoom out, all of that detail is lost. But you can see here with this one, which is far away, you can still see that the detail in the skin makes a big impact. So that's what we need for skins. They don't need to be purple and blue all the time. They just need to be interesting, and this skin definitely is, and of course it's a perfect representative of the skin from the movie. But again, I am hopeful that we are also getting the other raptor skins. Not the blue and Charlie, Echo, yada yada yada, not those skins, because those are Jurassic World, and this is a Jurassic Park DLC. But like I said, I am most envious of the tiger stripe skin from The Lost World and the male and female raptor skins from the third movie, and I really want to see those in the game, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I really want to see those. But this is a great start. The model also looks great. I was a little bit on the fence at first because I kind of like the Jurassic World Evolution Raptors, not the Jurassic World Raptors, but the Jurassic World Evolution Raptors. I kind of like. I think they are still creepy, whereas the Raptors from Jurassic World are just, they've been made way too cutesy. I don't like it at all. So yeah, I like the Jurassic World Evolution model, so I was concerned about this new model usurping the existing Jurassic World model, but, you know, now that I've had a good look at it, I'm okay with it. But I still think it would be cool if we could keep both of them, and then maybe just pit them together, see if the OG or the new ones win. I'm voting for the OG Raptors. She looks horrifying, and I love it. Moving on with the very exciting images is this shot of a Stegosaurus, which looks different from the model that we have in the game. Also different skins. There is, especially on the plates, they look very different to me. Different coloring, but also a lot more detail, a lot more texture. The face also looks different to me. The body itself, I'm not too impressed with. It looks very plastic. It looks a little bit off to me, but maybe that's the lighting. So I'm not going to really get into that. What is most exciting about this image for me is actually the blurry background, which are the redwood trees. No, the redwood trees in the background, completely blurred out, but of course still easily recognizable. And they are humongous. I mean, as they should be, but you know, you never know what you're gonna get, and these definitely look very tall, that they would dwarf even our big dinosaurs. They are a little bit barren on top. I would have liked to see them be a little bit more full, but still, to have new foliage in the game is exactly what we need. We need more ways to make our parks and our exhibits unique from one another. And of course, the redwood trees are really classic The Lost World, to evoke that feeling. That movie really has an excellent atmosphere, and to be able to integrate some of that in our parks is something I'm really looking forward to just have an exhibit with redwood trees, or maybe an entire park. I'm hoping that we are going to get different sizes of redwood trees, not just one of them, but, you know, maybe 3. I think that's probably going to be the max of what we're going to get, but that'd be what I'd want. So, you know, they're not all the same. You can add some variation in there, make it look more natural. Also, what we have in this image, we have again the fence with the small chain link fence inside it, but it's a little bit different from the fence that we saw with the hatchery, because the lights on top are different. These are the Jurassic World Evolution lights, which are pointing up, whereas the lights from the fence that we saw with the hatchery and also from the movie is that the lights were oriented sideways. So, my very impressive drawing over there. So yeah, is this a different kind of fence? Is this the non-electrified version of the fence? Is this the smaller version of the fence? I don't know, but there are some differences here. And what we also have, another fence type, which we can see on the side, is the fence which resembles the fence from the Jurassic Park 3 movie, which the Spinosaurus comes bursting through. It has the thick wiring. It also has the barbed wiring at the top, and what I'm seeing here is that it also has chain link in between from top to bottom, as opposed to this one, which only has chain link at the bottom. So looks like we're going to get a few more fence types. I'm hoping those will carry over into all of the sandbox parks and will not be restricted to the new map that we're going to get. And I do think we're going to get a new map, but more about that later. Another shot of the Rex, and this appears to be the Buck T-Rex. I'm not really liking how it looks right now. The lighting is a little bit too harsh for me, so there's not a lot to see in terms of the pattern and color. It looks a little bit plasticky, but still, we can see the pattern on the face here. Yeah, we definitely appear to be getting more skins from the other movies, and that is what I want. And here we have another image of the beautiful visitor center that we also saw in the trailer. I really love this shot because I love the reflection in the water, but that's just that's not even noteworthy. Yeah, the model is spot on with the movie. It really takes me back. It looks so gorgeous. I can't wait to have this in all of my parks. I hope that's a possibility. We also have a building off to the side here, which I pretty much entirely obstructed with my big blue circle. Yeah, I'm wondering what that is. I've heard people say that there are going to be toilets added. That'd be cool. I don't know if that's confirmed or if it's just a rumor that has gotten out of control. Please tell me. I'd really love to know, because I'd really like the idea of toilets being added, because of course we had that awesome scene with Gennaro on the loo. What I also want to briefly touch on are these, here I go again, obstructing what I'm talking about with the blue. These trees, these spindly tall palm trees. I know we already have those in the game. They are part of the standard brush tool. But with their placement here, it looks a little bit purposeful, so maybe these have been added as individually placeable models. I do hope so, because I love how those palms look. Okay, so now we are done with the images from Steam. We're going to look at some stills from the trailer very quickly. In this still, it's at the 3-second mark of the trailer. I didn't quite capture it in this screenshot, but you can just watch my other video, or just watch the trailer, duh. And you can actually see that it is suggested very heavily that the Brachiosaurus is actually feeding from the tree. It might just be a trick of editing, but it really looks like he grabs leaves and pulls it off the branches. That suggestion is really implied. And that's something we've all really been asking for a very long time, for the herbivores to be able to feed from the foliage in their exhibit. And if that's happening, that is bringing us one step closer to this game being perfection. You know, it's not there yet, but this is a step closer, because then we can get a true Site B situation on the way. And that's something I think we've all been asking. The next still, and why me, myself, and I, and pretty much everyone else is thinking we're getting a new map, is this one. It's at the 8-second mark in the trailer. And yeah, I'm pretty confident this is a new map. The mountain range doesn't resemble anything I personally have seen before, but you know, maybe I've just gotten blind to it. But I have been to every sandbox island at this point, and it doesn't quite fit with anything I've seen. We do have maps where we have the tall mountains, along with the more sloping mountains in the distance. But along with how this lake is set up, I don't think this is something we have in the game at the moment, so this means a new map, and of course that would be logical to have a new map with a new story feature. At the 10-second mark, we have the beautiful visitor center, absolute perfection. I don't have much to say. The only thing I will say is that the path does not connect to the stairs leading up to the front door, so I'm wondering where the path does connect. It seems like there's a bit of path here, so maybe it's going in through the side doors, but then I don't know why. Maybe this is the hop-on, hop-off point for the new tour that we're getting. Maybe this is where the vehicles will exit from. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say, and to just look at this beauty again, because it's gorgeous. And here, very quickly, the beautiful gate. I'm guessing these will function as the Gyrosphere Gate and the tour truck gates that we currently have. I was hoping it would kind of be placeable as just an object in and of itself, and to have guests be able to walk through it, but I guess, you know, that wasn't really the case in the movie either, so that's something I need to let go of. The fencing, again, this looks different from the ones we've previously seen because there are no lights on top, so maybe yet again another fence type. It looks taller than the other ones. It seems to me like there's more wiring than the other ones. We have the Jeeps, but as we've also seen, we're also getting the Ford Explorers, so maybe those will be two different kinds of tour attractions. I don't know, but I really want to know, but we have to wait 3 more weeks. Here's our beautiful lady. I just wanted to show her a little bit. Look at all of these different colors in here. There's this orangey, kind of muddy, dusty kind of effect on her frill and on her body. We have different tones, like the underside is a little bit lighter. We have a pattern on the face. What else? The scales, the different sizes of the scales are really standing out as opposed to the model we have right now. And the eyes, I'm sorry, darling. The eyes look a lot better than the model we have right now. The model we have looks really lazy, really dopey and derpy, and not very impressive. But this one looks gorgeous. I love her. I can't wait to have her. That's weird. Also, yet another fence type. So exciting. Yeah, we have a fence type with these angled bits on top. So we're getting a lot of fences. And again, I'm guessing that these fences are just going to replace the fences that we currently have. So we're going to have light steel electrified, heavy steel electrified, so on and so forth. I'm guessing these are just going to be their replacement in the story DLC, but I'm really hoping that they will carry over to the sandbox maps, because I want all kinds of different fences. I mean, in place of decorations, we need something for variation, so I want this. And of course, we have the tour track coming through. Here we have a glorious shot of Rexy roaring it out in front of the visitor center. It says at the 22-second mark in the trailer. What I really want to talk about very quickly is what we're seeing over here, which is a itty-bitty sign that Nedry run over with his stupid ass. What's interesting to me, and you can't really see it, but we have path coming across right there. And the sign is actually like this. So the sign is in front of the path and not between the path and the building, as you might expect. Because what you might expect is that it's a decoration added to the building itself, which we see a lot in the existing buildings. You know, there are actually nice decorations around the buildings, but they're just part of the building itself. We can't place it. But it looks like this sign is in front of the path, which may suggest that it's individually placeable, and that's something I personally really want, is to have signs. But it might be that maybe the path itself is actually also part of the building, so I don't know, but I just thought I'd point that out. And the final thing I want to talk about is a zoomed in screenshot that someone posted on Reddit. It was posted by let's make this brush a little bit smaller. It was posted by SeaWorld V. I don't know which image they got this from. I quickly looked at the images and I didn't see where I was supposed to see this, but I'm sure it's in one of the pictures that I just discussed, but I didn't see it. Please let me know which image this comes from. But as they encircled here, we are seeing the Jurassic Park 3 brachy, because that was more striped, and you can't tell here that the face is any different in tone, but the Jurassic Park 3 Brachiosaurus has a red face. It looks kind of creepy, actually, but what I do like about the skin is the striping, which we appear to be getting. They say JP Bracky, but I think this is Jurassic Park 3 Bracky specifically. That's the skin I really want for the Brachiosaurus. I mean, I like the Brachiosaurus skins, but I want more pattern for our big girls. So this is something I really, really want to see. And that was the last thing I'm going to talk about. I've talked about for way too long already. I just wanted to do this video to geek out with you, and really, I mean, this game, this DLC is going to be on my mind for so long. I had to talk more about it, get it out of my system. I'm not trying to copy anyone. I'm not trying to do it for the views. I just wanted to talk about this, and I hope you're watching, and I hope you'll leave a comment so we can get a discussion going down below. I really just want to talk more about this. If you like this video, please do give it a like. That would really help me out. And if you would subscribe to the channel, that'd be really cool as well. If you don't know me, I'm a little bit of an obsessive compulsive park builder, so I'm really, really going to be enjoying this DLC and all of the new buildings. And if you want to see that, you should subscribe. It's an awesome idea. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this together. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the game.